Welcome back to my channel. My name's Marissa and I like to talk about books and book design. So glad you're here today because we're going to be talking about my May wrap up and then doing some cozy reading sprints, which is perfect because I have a lot of reading I need to get done and the night is young. So I hope we'll get a lot of reading done. I am finishing up some last minute things, getting my presentation ready for the stream. So excuse me as I do that. But how's everyone's day going? It's like, it kind of feels like the first day of summer here. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that, but let's see. This morning I got up and I went to the farmer's market and it was amazing. I got like a fresh loaf of bread that's like Parmesan pepper. And I see Jay's in the chat. Hello. So I got a Parmesan pepper loaf. I got fresh beets and yep, I see the chatbird is in the chat. Beets. What else did I get? I don't remember. Something really good though. Well, okay, I'm getting confused because I also went to the Kroger after and I got a whole watermelon, which I've been munching on all day. I got stuff to make a delicious sandwich. I got zucchinis and okay, the big thing at the farmer's market that I forgot is I got these assorted mushrooms that are like wild mushrooms and they look so good. So walking around at the farmer's market, eating watermelon, I'm like, okay, so it's the first day of summer, I guess. And that's how my day's going. How is everyone else's day going? Okay. Every time I get in here, I'm always like forgetting how to link up my little presentation. Oh, I got it. Okay, well, I mean, we can go ahead and get into it if the people are ready. If you're in the chat, holler. Should we get started? I think so. Let me send out a few more messages just to make sure the girls know we're here. Okay. Wow, sorry, my mind is like anywhere but here right now. I keep like forgetting what I was doing. Okay, I'm sending out my little notifications and then we'll get into it. Can you hear that? My cat's little alarm food automatic feeder is going off. Hi, Monsi. Yes. Yeah, as you can see there, I only read 4 books. So it was a little bit of a slower month, but hopefully I'll have some things to say of interest. But maybe not. I don't know. I kind of fell off on my wrap-up grind. Because some of the last months I was busy, and then the other month it was like I made my TBR jar wrap up, so it was like you kind of knew already what I read, so I didn't think it was necessary. This month I didn't read that much, but I'm happy to share, and then we'll do some reading sprints. Okay. One more message. Okay. Hi. Now I'm fully with it. I'm fully here. Let's get into this May wrap up. And I have my beverage of choice here. I hope everyone has something to sip on. I have my debut Taylor's cup, which, wow, what a weekend it's been. Because Taylor got her master's back, and now debut is technically it's almost like a Taylor's version, but not. It's owned by her. Anyways, I'm sipping on Sonic Ocean Water. Okay, let's get into it. So the first book I read in May was Bunny by Mona Awad, and this probably isn't a secret to most people since I made a video that I posted last week with my friend Emily. We did a fun little collab video where I created a mood board like with a certain vibe I was craving a book to read about. And then I sent it to her and she gave me some recommendations. And Bunny is one of the books that she landed on. And I feel like it fit the mood board perfectly. So if you haven't seen that video yet, you should go watch it. But yeah, I got a little bit into my thoughts on Bunny in that video. So I don't really need to harp on it too much. But in case you don't know, Bunny is sort of a, well, you can see there. For genre, I put question marks. I don't know. Does anyone know? Feel free to let me know in the chat because I looked it up and it said dark comedy satire, which I do agree, satire for sure. And I could see dark comedy, but sometimes when I think like dark comedy, I think raunchy comedy, like Scary Movie, that franchise. I don't know why that's the only example I can think of. I don't know. Maybe that's not a dark comedy. Maybe that's just like a raunchy comedy. So I don't know. It felt weird to label this as that because that's not what this is, but satire for sure. I've heard some people call it like horror or a thriller, and I don't really think it's that. I also saw it as like a sci-fi, which maybe, but not really. It's kind of in this weird space of like sci-fi fantasy sort of stuff, kind of like witchcraft stuff, which you would think fantasy and like crafting spells, but it feels almost like a science experiment. It's such a weird book. That's not even really getting into it. So basically the story follows this girl named Samantha, and she is in a writing program at a writing MFA program at this college in the East Coast somewhere. And she's in this small writing cohort that's only her and I think 4 other girls. I want to say 4, maybe 5. I think it's 4 though. And they're all like super weird. They just have this like, it almost seems like they have a hive mind. They think very similarly and they call each other bunnies. And Samantha really hates them and is very judgmental until one night she gets invited to one of their parties and she's like, well, I might as well go see what's going on. And from there, the story unfolds. And I don't want to spoil it, so I won't say much more than that, but it was a lot of fun. And I think, I mean, this book is like so well known, especially like on the internet. So I'm sure I'm not saying anything new, but if you are like open to the like weird, unreliable narrator, I don't know what's going on, I'm kind of confused, but I like it type of books, then you will enjoy Bunny. I think you just have to go into it knowing like you being confused is part of the fun. And I know some people don't like that, so that's why Bunny has so many like mixed reviews. But me personally, I like that a lot. So it was a fun time. And I also read this with my in-person book club. Okay, can you hear Ripley crying? He's having his like post-dinner need attention moment. Come here, buddy. Anyways, so everyone in my in-person book club also really enjoyed it. I think the lowest rating we had was maybe a 2.5, which I don't know. It was a 2.5, but she didn't hate it. She was like, that's average, that's middle and fair. Sure. So yeah, fun one. And I don't have much more to say to that. I'm like trying to think, did I have any critiques? The reason it wasn't a 5-star, it just didn't have that feeling. I didn't have any particular critiques about it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was well written. I did think like the way Mona Awad was able to add so much humor to it was a lot of fun. And there's just like not a lot of other books out there or like authors in the moment who are like writing like she does. I think she's just kind of in her own lane, and it's been very fun to see the hype around her books come out and people read them. I've only read Bunny thus far, but I'm interested in all the other ones. So if you all in the chat right now have read any Mona Awad, let me know which one I should pick up next. Probably Rouge, but I'm open. Okay. So then I read Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. Rainbow Rowell, a little bit of a throwback author for me because I was a big fan of her YA books when I was in middle school. Like her book Fangirl. Don't even get me started. I loved it. I did like Eleanor and Park at the time, but I have since changed my opinion on it because I think there's just some problematic things in there, which I think I've talked about before in other videos, so I won't get into it now. But because of that, I haven't really returned to Rainbow Rowell in a long time, so I wasn't sure if I would like this book, especially since I've only ever read her YA stuff and not her adult books. But this is, I guess, an adult romance. I don't really know how to, I have such interesting takes on the romance genre, and it doesn't feel like your typical romance book where it like follows like a set formula, and like it doesn't feel like a rom-com, if that makes sense. It feels more like, if you think about a rom-com movie and then you think about like a Nora Ephron movie, like You've Got Mail type of thing, that's where this feels like it fits. Is that just like rom-com versus romance? I don't know. I'm not an expert. But I really, really enjoyed this so much that I think it kind of gave me a reading slump this month because I actually read this when I was in Texas visiting Emily, and I picked it up when I was there because I finished reading Bunny on the plane. Why are you crying? Come here. Hold on. Ripley's maybe gonna say hi. Oh, come here, buddy. Okay, Ripley's here, guys. So I started reading Attachments when I was in Texas for my little trip, and I pretty much finished it when I got home, within the same weekend. That's how much I was just enjoying reading it. It was like wow. I think the word I'm looking for is it was a page turner. And I don't know that it's like, I don't know that everyone would feel that way. I feel like this is just a sort of perfectly catered to me romance. I haven't really heard anyone talk about it, so maybe that's not even true. Maybe everyone would enjoy it. I don't know. If anyone has read it, please let me know your thoughts. I would love to talk about it. But yeah, I just had such a fun time with it that any other books I kind of picked up later in the month, I was like sad that I wasn't getting as sucked into it as I was with this one. So I think that's why I didn't read that many books this month. Okay. But anyways, let me tell you what it's even about. Attachments is one of Rainbow Rowell's adult romance novels, and it is sort of a very interesting format. It follows these two girls, Beth and Jennifer, who work in an office together. I don't even remember. Oh, I think it's like a newspaper. They work at like a journal or a newspaper or something. Oh yeah, and Beth is a movie reviewer in this newspaper, and I think Jennifer is an editor. And so the book takes form in emails. The girls are like emailing each other while at work, having like talking personal emails instead of work emails, which they're not supposed to do. And that's why this guy, Lincoln, has been hired to basically monitor the work emails to make sure people aren't using the emails for personal topics and such. And it's kind of like, as we get to, each chapter is like the girls emailing, and then we get Lincoln's POV. And we're quickly realizing that this job is like so useless. Like he basically sits up there and does nothing. Barely any emails even get flagged for him to review, except for Beth and Jennifer's. But he's so bored up there doing nothing that he like really gets invested in reading their emails. And through that, he sort of falls in love with Beth without ever meeting her. which I don't know that everyone would love that because it is sort of like you don't even really know her, which seems like something I wouldn't usually like, but I just ate it up. I loved the way it unraveled and how, they eventually do meet, of course. But I was like a little worried going into it because it kind of sounds like a cute, quirky, like rom-com type scenario. But when you think about it, like, how would you feel knowing some guy is like reading your personal emails and that's how he likes you, and like because he's reading these intimate private details of your life? Like, it kind of feels icky. So I was sort of like wondering how she was going to handle that. Like, is she just going to be like, well, whatever? But the book actually gets into like discussion about it and how he feels weird about it, and he has to kind of make decisions of like, how do I go about navigating this and getting out of this scenario and making it right? So I just thought it was handled really well, and I thought it was such a cute little romance. And I may be hesitant to recommend it to like big romance readers because I think it's more of the characters that I enjoyed rather than the actual relationship. Like, sorry if you hear Ripley once again. The characters were just super interesting to read, and to see Lincoln's like growth over the course of the novel was fun. And then the romance was just kind of like a secondary bonus to reading it. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm going to be thinking about this for a while, though. I had so much fun with it. I already said that. You heard me. I want other people to read it so I can talk about it, but I just like don't know. Okay, Ripley's being crazy right now. I just don't know who to recommend it to, so we'll see. Ripley, come here. He's kind of having post-dinner zoomies because he eats at 6. Okay, so then the third book I read this month was Clown in a Cornfield, which is, of course, the YA. Oh, I don't think my rating is correct. It's not. The stars are correct, but the rating side is not. I rated it 3.5 stars. Anyways, this is a YA clown slasher horror. And I actually did a full video reading vlog on this book. So if you want to hear me like really go in depth with it, then just watch that video. But my brief thoughts were that it was surprisingly really fun. So yes, I did end up rating it 3.5 stars. It was a little cheesy, of course, but not in a way that truly bothered me. Like, I was having fun with it, and I was always interested in continuing to pick it up to read more, especially after I just said that other one put me in a little bit of a reading slump. I didn't really have any problem finishing this one, probably because I was actually reading it before attachments, and I just like finished it after attachments technically. So there's that. Yeah, again, this is one that I just don't know who I would really recommend it to. Like, I think you just have to kind of be a slasher fan. Like, I don't think this is one, like, if you don't like horror, you don't like slashers, that this book is going to change your mind. It's not. It's like not the pinnacle of the genre. It's kind of just middle of the line. It's a book that is very obviously catered to Gen Z, and it sort of has like a Gen Z versus boomer plotline, which it was just enough that it didn't completely turn me off from the book, because sometimes it's hard to read stuff like that when it's so heavy-handed, and it like there needs to be nuances and still some good writing. So was this the best ever? No. Was it still fun and enjoyable? Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I think the movie is still out in theaters right now if you haven't caught it yet. Kind of a summer blockbuster, if you will. I think the movie is fun too and worth seeing. I also rated that one 3.5 stars. So pretty good for both. Can't complain. And then the last book I read in May was Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I feel like this one also was kind of having a moment online for a little while. I ended up reading this with Emily, Once Upon a Emily Reads Discord book club, which I still have not like typed out my thoughts to the other members in the group chat yet. So if any of them are watching, here are my thoughts that I have been gatekeeping, I guess. I am still not entirely sure how I felt about this one. As you can see, I did rate it 3 out of 5 stars. I like maybe even personally feel like 2.5 out of 5 stars about it, but I don't think it's like bad. Like I think it's maybe worthy of 3 stars, but just not for me personally. And I'm realizing I don't think I enjoy books about grief that much, or when things are like a metaphor for grief. So let me tell you about this book. As you can see, I didn't know what to describe this genre with either. When I looked it up, I think it said like sci-fi horror. And I just really don't agree with the horror label. Like, I don't know if my like personal definition is just off, but it's like the same with like this book, Bunny, random book I haven't been talking about, but Chlorine. If you all know, those books have all been labeled as horror, but I just don't think they are. They're kind of more like psychological things. But psychological thriller doesn't sound like the correct genre either. I think we need a new word. And someone other than me needs to come up with that word, but I don't know. Maybe I would say this is sci-fi, but it's almost like a literary sci-fi because it kind of requires you to think a little bit deeply about what the author's actually saying, and the sort of sci-fi elements are just like a vehicle for that message. Isn't that just how books work? I don't know. But anyways, this one is about this couple. It is a lesbian couple. One is Leah and there's Miri. And Leah is sort of like a biological researcher. She works for this science research company. I don't know that we ever like fully find out what they do. It's sort of like this mysterious entity. And she is supposed to go down into a submarine for a research expedition. It's supposed to be like, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks, like not that long, but she ends up being gone for like 6 months. So much longer than anticipated. And it's sort of like the submarine got lost for a while, but she eventually does come home, and she comes back home to Miri. But when Leah is back, she is different than she was before she left for the trip. And sort of the whole book is this slow unraveling of their relationship and how it has forever changed due to this experience that Leah went through, which as you read, it becomes clear that it's sort of a metaphor for grieving a loved one. And the reason I said earlier I found I don't like that is because I read this book and I felt pretty about it. I also saw the new Cronenberg movie, The Shrouds, which is also sort of a weird metaphor about grieving a loved one. And I just didn't like either of them. They both kind of made me feel icky, which is a me problem for sure. I'll be the first to admit it's a me problem. I don't know if it just makes me like anxious and like I don't even really know. Something to be investigated at a later date. But I think that's why this one just wasn't my favorite. And on top of that, unfortunately, it was just a little bit boring. And I'm not the only one who said that in the chat. I don't know. I think maybe since it was marketed as, or at least someone told me it was horror, it made me want more of the horror elements, and they're very subtle in the book. So that's why I got a little bit bored of that. Monty says, I understand what you're saying about the genres that Bunny in this book would fall under. I've read them both, and I wouldn't have classified them as straight up horror. Right? It's like, what is it? it's a secret third thing that I don't know how to like describe or like articulate in a logical way. um, I'm like sure someone has thought of a term and someone has like, there's probably a whole video on it somewhere on booktube waiting for me to find. So I'll have to look into that. But as of right now, I have no word for it. So I do think, although I maybe feel personally like a 2.5 star on this, I think it's a 3 star because I can see a lot of people enjoying this that just aren't me. So I don't think it's worthy of like a super low rating. I think a lot of my personal bias is just shadowing that, which is like the weird thing that you get into when you're rating books. It's like, are you rating on how you feel about it or how you think it ranks amongst other books, even if you don't personally like it? And I feel like whenever I rate books, I have a weird mix of both, where it's like, well, I like this, so 5 stars, but also it was objectively bad, so 3.5. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely not a bad book. It's just for people of a specific interest, and I'm not one of them. So those are the books I read in May. Only 4. I was feeling slumpy. Let me just show you how many books I have in my hopper right now in the currently reading on Goodreads, because it's kind of been melting my brain. Usually I'm pretty good about reading multiple books at once, and I can easily jump between them. And I kind of have like one physical, one ebook, one audio, and maybe I add on more from there. But usually when I do that, I'm like 50% into one book and 5% into the other and 20 in the other one. But I think I'm all like at the 10 to 20 mark on all of them. So it feels like I'm making no progress, and I just haven't felt compelled to pick up any of them. So I'm going through something. Let me put this screenshot away. Not screenshot, screen share. This is my currently reading tab on Goodreads. So I've been reading slowly but surely, mainly Mrs. Dalloway. Let's see. I got 8 pages into Miss Dalloway in the entire month of May. But this is what I'm going to be reading when we do sprints later, because I have, there's this privately owned library in the city where I live that's so beautiful. And I accidentally joined their book club, even though technically you have to be like a member of the library, but no one ever asked me. So I'm in it. But our book for this next meeting is Mrs. Dalloway. And the meeting's on Thursday, and I'm 8 pages in. So I have to read it because I can't get kicked out, you know? That's what I'll be reading and what I was reading. The other books, I was reading both The Ever King and Half a Soul, which are both like fairy books, for a reading vlog that I'm working on, if you can guess what that is. And then I also started The Martian by Andy Weir. I got like 12% into that. And that one, it was starting to pick up when I put it down last, but the beginning of that book is just so scientific, and my brain, since I was kind of already in a slumpy mood and he was telling me about like the chemistry and physics of space and growing plants, I was like, oh, I can't think about this right now. But it's starting to pick up a little bit. So I think we'll get somewhere with that in June. Yeah, the other ones are kind of just, I have always somehow like at least 10 books going, so they're ongoing from other times. In terms of my reading plans for June, well, I'm gonna finish Mrs. Dalloway by this Thursday, so count on that. My book club is reading, I don't have it here, but we're reading Recursion by Blake Crouch, which I'm so excited about because we previously read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch and I loved it. I feel like I talk about that video all the time on my channel, but I haven't read any other Blake Crouch, so it's going to be exciting to see if I just like Dark Matter or if I'm a fan of his work in general. Because I've heard that Recursion is actually better than Dark Matter. But I think I've also heard other people say that he gets too sciencey with his stuff. And I didn't really think I liked sci-fi that much, but maybe I do. Because I've been enjoying them recently. What else? I'm going to finish the other two fairy books I was reading. Maybe read a few more fairy books for a reason that has to do with a vlog. And then, of course, June is Pride Month, so hopefully I will read some more queer books. I've been waiting to pick up the rest of the Heartstopper series. I've only read volume 1, and I have volume 2, but I sort of just want to buy all the volumes and like read them in a weekend. So maybe that's my June vibe. Pride Month. I'm sure whatever else, whenever I'm picking up some new audiobooks, I'll just have that in the back of my mind, but I don't have any other specific plans except the little library book club on Discord. We are reading Allie Hazelwood's new book, Problematic Summer Romance. I am so excited for that. You guys know I love Allie Hazelwood, and this one seems like a lot of fun, especially like, I don't know, a summer romance, having a book like with that theme, just like ready to go. I think it's really going to get me in the mood for summer. So I'm glad that they picked that for our June book. But I have this problem with Allie Hazelwood books, and this is actually a problem I have with a lot of books, but I thus far have read all of her books as audiobooks. So I feel like, well, that's not entirely true. I half read Bride on physical book, but then I had to switch back to the audiobook because I've read all her other books as audiobooks. So for some reason, it's hard for me to get into them now unless I'm listening to it, because it like puts me in that mindset of like, this is how I read Allie Hazelwood. And I think I do that too if I start other books as like physical books. Well, no, that's a lie. I read physical books and then go to the audiobook all the time. I just can't go back, I guess. Once I go to the audiobook, then it's like I can't do the physical book. So unfortunately, I have to wait for my hold on the new Allie Hazelwood to come for the audiobook. Long-winded way of saying that. Doesn't matter that much, but for that reason, it might not get done until like the very end of June, if not the beginning of July. Sorry to my just little library book club members, if you're watching. I think my hold said it was like 5 or 6 weeks, so we'll see. Usually on Libby, though, they come like a little bit faster than what they say. We'll see. Whew, okay. And then in terms of my video plans for the month, okay, 3 things. This week, I am planning on putting out a video on Fable, the reading tracking platform, because about a year ago, I made a video on Storygraph, and I have an update on that. I have not been using it. So I'm going to try Fable and see if that works for me. So that should be my next video if I finish filming it in time by this Friday. Then I will have 2 other videos. One is this reading vlog, which you may or may not have guessed what it is. I'm going to keep it a secret because I like secrets and surprises, but it's a themed reading vlog. And then I am moving at the end of June, June 30th. I'm moving, thank God, just into another apartment like 5 minutes away, so nothing crazy. But this apartment has been like testing me, and it's time for me to move on. And so I'm filming a little like moving vlog and hopefully like a redesigning bookshelf video in my new apartment. But I'm not moving till May 30th, so you definitely won't see that video until July, so never mind, I guess. And then I'm hoping to do more live streams because I kind of fell off, but that was one of my big goals for the year for booktube, to go live more. So definitely more reading sprints. I might do another themed one where I also play Stardew Valley if anyone's interested. I might just do it anyway because I want to play Stardew Valley. And yeah, whatever else you guys want to see. So feel free to let me know, anyone in the chat, if you have an idea. I'm all ears. Now, let's get into our reading sprints. I want to know, if you're here in the chat, what you are reading or doing. If you just need to keep this on in the background while you do chores or clean up, then that's cool too. Love that for you. It's honestly my favorite thing to do on Sundays, and I meant to do it earlier, but I lost track of the day. So we're going to read instead. As I said, I need to read this by Thursday. So I'm honestly going to be reading for a long time, I hope. I don't know. I have two Pomodoro timers. One is 30 minutes. I think, let me click on this. 10 sessions of 30 minutes. We're not going to do all 10. Actually, is that right? No, there's no way it's 10 because the video is only an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, we can either do 30-minute sessions or we can do, I have another one that's 50 minutes. Erin's here. Hi. So let me know if you guys have a preference. I mean, either way, I want to be reading for a while and I just don't know. Sometimes 30 minutes feels too short, but I couldn't find one that was cute enough at 45 minutes, so I went for 50. But is 50 too long? Like, I don't know. Maybe we should just try it. I think I might start by doing 30 minutes to see, so I can check in quicker and just see how everyone's feeling, what everyone's reading. Yeah. Also, do you guys like this new live stream background? It's because my apartment is like half packed up. So I was like, why don't I just move my couch right up against the wall with the bookshelf? But it looks kind of cute. And you will never see this again because I'm moving. So hope you don't like it, I guess. Erin says the lighting is eating. Thank you. I honestly have hella windows in this apartment, and my next apartment's going to be so dark, which is my preference, but I know some people love natural lighting. So I'm perfectly lit from the window on this side, but I'm also being backlit by the window on this side. So you can't win them all. Let's see. Monsi's reading Rejection by Tony Talathamute. It's a collection of short stories. Probably will finish the current short story and then clean for a bit. That sounds like the perfect Sunday. What sort of short stories are they? Is it like a particular genre? I am not familiar. But I feel like I remember you talking about a short story collection on your channel recently. Don't remember if it was this one, though. And also, I don't remember if it was a different one, what the genre was of that one anyway. So, I don't know. How are you liking it? Is it good? I haven't read a short story collection in a minute, so that might need to throw into the mix soon. I also, since Monsi's here, and I know Monsi loves nonfiction, I got bit by the nonfiction itch bug, so I think I might pick one up soon. I just bought the book Word Slut by, I forgot who that's by. Let me look it up. Word Slut by Amanda Montell. I think she has a lot of popular nonfiction out at the moment. She has that other book about cults. Anyways, so I just picked up Word Slut and I'm very excited for it. And I'm just like so in the mood to read it. Maybe I just need to pick it up to get through this kind of slump feeling, but can't do that until I finish this one. So I'll be reading Mrs. Dalloway. And Aaron said, I finished The Summer I Turned Pretty book earlier. I one-starred it. Oh! Okay, wait. Tell us more in the chat. The last Summer I Turned Pretty. Okay, yes. I do remember the last one being kind of like, but I kind of felt that way about the whole series. But also, I read them all back to back to back like this, so I shouldn't be complaining too much because clearly I was flipping the pages. But yeah, the last one gets weird with like the wedding and stuff. No spoilers, of course, but I don't know. I just don't like the whole like love triangle with brothers. It makes me so uncomfortable. It's like in reality, like how could that ever happen? How could anyone do that? Like I'm imagining like me doing that with my sister. I could like never love a man that also kissed my sister. Sorry. Okay, here's Aaron's thoughts. 1, I hate Jeremiah. Correct. 2, I hate Belly. Fair. And this one made me hate her even more. Yeah. 3, cringe levels were off the charts. 4, not enough Conrad content. Yes. Yeah. All so true. Jeremiah's the worst. I don't know how anyone ships them. I mean, me personally, I would never ship Jeremiah because not for me. But it's so funny how like what is it, Jenny Han, she kind of sets it up in the second book to make you think like I don't want to spoil this, but I feel like it's kind of obvious. It's one of those books where it's like it's a love triangle, but she obviously is going to pick one of the other brother. Like that's kind of a common problem with love triangle books. It's like you always know one is above the other guy. So it's like what's even the point of this triangle? I digress. But in the second one, she kind of makes you think Jeremiah is an option, and then she like completely pivots in the third one, and it's like makes him like unredeemable almost in my book at least. Which I just think is funny because it's like, why did you even do that? Like, why did you even make it seem like he had an option? And it was like she didn't want the readers to be like, actually, I like Jeremiah, so she was like, no, not Jeremiah. That's my thoughts on it. But yeah, the whole time I was reading the series, I was like, this is just so not for me. This was not written for me. It was written clearly for a YA audience, which is fine because that's what it is for. But sometimes you can kind of like, oh, it's for YA, but I still enjoy it. That one, it's like, leave it for the youths. I've heard the show is good though, and I would watch the show. Monsi says, rejection is wild. I think I love it. Okay, I'm intrigued. Literary fiction with each story focusing on different characters' personal crisis with rejection shame. Oh, that sounds so good. I'm literally about to add it to my TBR. I love that. Anything like that, it just sounds so good. I did my senior capstone on heartbreak grief, and I read this book. Where is it? Oh, it's okay. Can you see it? No, you can't see it. It's off camera. It's called Heartbreak, a something journey. But it gets really into like the science behind heartbreak grief. I think you would like it, Monsi, honestly. But it talks about like how so much of the pain of heartbreak comes from rejection. And yes. So I'm very fascinated by this and found it, adding it to my TBR. I will definitely share my thoughts on Word Slut whenever I do eventually read it, which will hopefully be soon. That's so true, Erin. She says her Jenny Han's switch up on Jeremiah was the way like Sarah J. Maas switches up on Tomlin. It's Tomlin, right? Sorry. I feel like I pronounce the characters names in that series incorrectly just all the time. But yeah, it's like the whole first book is Tomlin and Feyre, like, oh, of course. And then immediately in the second book, she's like, actually, he's trash. Okay, why did you even make me feel some type of way about him then? Like, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. Yes, you definitely should. Okay, wait, let me get the actual title for you. Okay, it's called Heartbreak, A Personal and Scientific Journey. It's about this woman in her 50s who has been married since like her early 20s. She goes through a divorce, so it's like her first real heartbreak, and she's just so almost in awe of how painful it is. She's like, this isn't just like, I'm not just sad. Like, there are actual physical effects to this pain on my body. And so she does a lot of research, and she even like talks to scientists, and like there's interviews in there about like the physical effects it can have on your body. And there's like some chapters about how people have like literally died from heartache, because there's like these strings in your heart that can like snap or something. I'm so not a scientist. I'm nowhere near the medical field. So I'm maybe not saying that correctly, but it's so interesting. And I think that like the science behind heartbreak and just rejection is like endlessly fascinating. And the author is Florence Williams. So random. I literally just like, I had to have like a source or a book for my capstone, because I'm a designer. So it's not like I wasn't writing a research paper or anything, but I was designing it, and I just used her book in my design basically. And so I just looked up like books about heartbreak, and it was like, I think it was like the sponsored like first book at the top of Google. And I was like, okay, let's see what this is. And I loved it. 5 stars. So good that I would even reread it, which may be the only nonfiction in my whole life that I would. Well, no, I also like, I would reread The Book of Eels, which is a nonfiction book about eels. Very good. Anyways, 1, I keep saying anyways. 2, I'm so chatty tonight, so I'm kind of afraid that I'm not going to be able to get a lot of reading done. But I need to, so you guys have to hold me accountable. Okay. Let's get started with our sprints. Let's start with 30 minutes and just see how we do. And also, I'm going to see if I can get the Mrs. Dalloway audiobook, and I have some little headphones here. I might just like, that's how bad I need to lock in. I kind of want to do some dual reading with the audiobook and the physical book. Because I think I'm just like kind of spacey today, so my mind might wander. You know when you're like reading a book and you're like, your eyes are like reading the sentences, but you're just like inputting your own words? That's the kind of day I'm having. Oop, and the audiobook is available. It's a great day to be me. Okay. So yeah, again, if anyone else in the chat is reading, let me know. We know Monsi's reading Rejection. Aaron just finished The Last Summer I Turned Pretty, but are you going to pick something up new? I want to know. I also, as I said, I'm in the middle of packing for my move, so I couldn't find any of my annotation materials because I kind of just shoved everything from my desk into a bin. So I wanted to annotate this since we're having like an in-depth discussion, but I don't have the materials. So I have this like little blank notebook, and I'm just going to write the chapters. Like, there's actually not chapters. I'm going to just write about what I read, take notes. That's what I'm looking for, taking notes. I found this like reading guide online. Like, I don't know if it's for like a high schooler. I don't know if, do people read this in high school? Maybe. I don't know. I've heard people reading it in college, but either way, I found like sort of like a study guide to read with it, for like chunking it out basically. And so I'm gonna like take notes and answer the questions on that too. It kind of feels like being in school, which is fun. I kind of miss being in school, for English at least, nothing else. Aaron says, I'm not sure what I'm going to read next, but I am playing some Marvel Rivals with the fam during sprints. That sounds lovely. Okay. Pulling up our Pomodoro clock. Share screen. Okay, starting with 30 minutes. Oh, and I found this super cute little like Steady with Cats animation, and it's like a spring day in the backyard. It's so cute. So, if everyone's ready, I'll go ahead and get us started. Perfect. All right, that was our first 30 minutes. How did everyone do? I didn't do that well. The first half of the session, I was like on my phone doing stuff, and then I finally got into Mrs. Dalloway. And as I mentioned, I wanted to do a little like tandem read with the audiobook, but I was 8 pages into the physical book already, and I could not get it to link up with the audiobook. So I was like, I'm only 8 pages in. I'm just going to start over. So I started Mrs. Dalloway over, and now I'm on page 12. So net positive 4 pages. But yeah, I honestly don't really know much about this book. As I mentioned earlier, am reading it for a book club at this library in my city, and it's a book club where it's called In Pieces because they're supposed to take on like really big books, like bit by bit. Oh my gosh, bit by bit, so it's less intimidating. But big can mean big in length or in impact. So Mrs. Dalloway isn't that big in length, but it is obviously a well-known book. Virginia Woolf is a very famous author. So that's the impact. And it's also the 100th anniversary of this book, I believe in June. So that's why we're reading it. And the fun thing is, in the library, they're doing, so this audiobook is 7 hours long. And in the library, one day, they're going to read the book in its entirety. So, like out loud. Should take 7 hours, but they're having like different little popcorn readers. And I want to go so bad, but unfortunately, it's on a Wednesday and I have a job, so I can't. But I think they're only starting at 10 a.m. and it's like surely going to take longer than 7 hours because they'll have to take like bathroom breaks and food breaks. So they were saying I could technically still come after work. But that means I have to finish the book so that I'm not getting spoiled if I walk in like to a point where I'm like, I haven't read that yet. And then the other reason it's going slow is because I'm trying to take notes while reading. And wow, I have not done this since high school. I'm taking such nonsensical notes. I'm like, what do I write down? How do I know if it's important? So I'm just like evaluating that. I'm like, I read books all the time. How do I not know how to do this? So you can see I'm like writing about the characters, tried writing about the setting, but then I'm getting additional info about the characters, but I'm like, well, shoot, I already wrote something else, so I can't write it there. So it's below. It's making me feel crazy. I like haven't had to do something like this since finishing my graphic design degree. So now it's like so hard for me to do things organically like this because I want to like chunk and group the information and make it look beautiful when it doesn't need to look beautiful. So I'm overcoming that. But what about you guys? What are you reading and how many pages did you get in the 30-minute time window? I think I want to try and do the 50 minutes. The 50 minutes one. Because I just like feel like I struggled to get into it in the first like 10 minutes of the 30-minute timer. So then it's more like a 20-minute timer. And I need to read 80 pages today and I'm on page 12. So let's just like dig into it. Let's get into it. So hopefully you guys have a lot of stuff you want to read. Because it's reading Sunday. They have declared it reading Sunday. And by they, I mean me. Okay. The other thing is, I'm just like, if you've been here since the beginning of the stream, I mentioned I'm kind of in a slumpy mood, and this is like kind of not the best book for that because it's written in stream of consciousness, so it's sort of just like the character's thoughts like jumping around everywhere and almost like she's talking to you. And even I'm on page 12 and I found myself being like, wait, how did we get here? What are we talking about? So I'm just very scattered brained and I'm finding it hard to like keep up with it. And I'm on page 12. So I'm tired. I'm having one of those days. Okay. Well, I'm going to start the 50-minute timer. Let me know if you all are game. Also, I just need to get a little bit comfier. I need to like really get into this right now. So we're going sideways on the couch. We're hopefully I'm going to be so embarrassed if I start to like doze off because I very frequently do that while reading. So, if I fall asleep, guys, wake me up. Okay. This is good. All right, 50 minutes. Easy. I hope you guys are getting a lot of reading done. I'm starting on page 12. Let's see how much I can read in 50 minutes. And I had the audiobook on 1 speed and I tried to bump it up to 1.25, but I think it might be too fast because I'm struggling to follow, so I should probably just keep it on speed 1. But I'm also like, I got 80 pages to read, so we'll see. Okay, me pull up the 50-minute timer. Don't worry, it's the same channel with the cute little cat animation. So now we just get to watch a new animation, guys. Very cute, and I love it. And also, I remember like halfway through the video had sound, so I tried to turn it on, but I don't know if you all can hear it. Can you hear it, and do you like the sound, or I can mute it? Let me know. Okay, here we go. All right, we did it. That was 50 minutes. That was good. I'm actually like a pretty good chunk of the way into the book now, which feels good. Okay. Admittedly, it feels very good. After being kind of in a slumping mood, I'm like, this is good progress. Um, as far as it actually goes with the book, I am still struggling to fully understand everything. So this is like I think all of Virginia Woolf's books stream of consciousness in the writing. So the very beginning opens up with this character like about to go on a walk, and up until like page 39 or so, I don't think we actually have any momentum on that walk. Um, if that tells you anything of like in between those like almost 40 pages, she's just talking and telling us stuff. So not the book for everyone. And I want it to be the book for me. I really do, but I'm just still a little bit scatterbrained, trying my best to understand. I really didn't even have anything to take notes on. The only detail I wrote down is Mrs. Dalloway is 56 and almost has white hair from being sick. Okay, I know that now. Because I somehow thought in the beginning that she was like 20, so that makes sense. I think she's 50. I need to Google this. I'm like, I feel like I'm not soaking in all this information, so I'm worried about my reading comprehension right now. I think I need to like read a Spark Notes after, which is something I have not said out loud since high school, so humbling to say the least. But I'm very excited because the book club I'm reading this for is at a library, and almost all of the members are either like English teachers or scholars, librarians. So when we get into book discussions, it's like it feels like being in a classroom, and I think that's exactly what I need for a book like this. I need them to like get into the literary devices and the history of Virginia Woolf. So, yeah, gonna do my best to like fully understand it as I'm reading it, but I have that cushion of knowing that they're gonna help me. So, anyways, how did the 50 minutes go for you all? Did you like 50 minutes? I've never done a sprint that long before. Usually I do like 30-minute chunks. But I think the 50 minutes was good because I actually found myself like getting invested and like I had the time to like process the book and read a little bit more. So, what did you all think and how much did you read? I was on page 12, now I'm on page 42. So, I read 30 pages, definitely with the help of the audiobook reading along. So, that was good for me. Cami says she has not read Mrs. Dalloway. I have not either, clearly. This is my first Virginia Woolf. And I'm excited because I'm just a very iconic author, obviously. Um, and I want to know more about her other books. My boyfriend also loves this book, so I'm excited to talk about it with him and see what he likes about it. And yeah, we'll see. I wish I wasn't so sleepy right now. Because I like long reading sprints just because then I get into the groove. Yes, that's what I was kind of thinking as well. Um, and honestly, I think I might do one more 50-minute session. We're already at like 2 hours, so if you all don't think you can stay that long, totally fine. Thanks for being here. But I don't know. What's another 50 minutes? I say as I'm like, I have to read 80 pages, so I'm forcing you to come along with me because we've now read for, wow, I'm so bad at math. 50 plus 30 is 80 minutes. So that's an hour and 30. Wow. Wait, is it? An hour and 20. An hour and 20. That's how long we've been reading. And I'm on page 42. I need to get to 80. So another 50-minute sprint, I'll probably be just behind 80 pages, which is good. So I hope you're ready to read more. Kimmy's only read A Room of One's Own. I haven't read that one. I think I've read in one of my college courses, we read like a speech she gave somewhere, and I think it's like about writing or her journey with writing, but I don't even really remember it. So I have no real knowledge of Virginia Woolf. Yeah, so that's exciting. And Cammy is down for another 50 minutes. Let's go. What did you say you were reading? Or are you doing something else? Let me know what you're reading, Cammy, or working on. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, let's do this. Let's do another 50 minutes. It'll get us like just past 9 p.m. for me. And that'll be good because we're in that weird time of year where it's like the sun is still shining and it will be for a while. Like it's starting to set. And I need to film my video for this week, but I don't like doing it as the sun's setting because then the lighting changes in the video. So I'd rather just wait till it's fully dark. So what better to do than read during that time? Sorry, my cat was making a weird noise. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer. I have to run to the restroom, so I'm gonna turn my camera off for a bit, but I'll be back, and then we can get into it together. Kemi's reading. Oh, Kemi is reading "Promise Me Sunshine" by Cara Bestone. I don't know that one. Is that romance? Maybe that's what I'm getting from the title. How are you liking it? And hopefully your dinner's good. I also will have to eat dinner after our next sprint, but I ate literally like half a watermelon earlier, so I'm still kind of full from that. And I'm like, maybe I'll eat the other half of the watermelon. I'm like addicted, guys. It's making me feel so summery. Okay, gonna start another 50 minutes, and I'll be back in just a moment. Let's see. Okay, that was another 50 minutes. We did it, guys. I'm feeling good. I'm like, wow. I'm someone who typically like reads I read a lot, but I read in little chunks throughout the day. I don't often like sit down and just read for hours. So here's where I'm at on Mrs. Dalloway. I read 32 pages in that 50 minutes. And so since I started back on page 1, I have read 73 pages in the amount of these reading sprints, which I'm like, wow, okay, it feels good to read in a big chunk. So let this be the motivation for me to do more live reading sprints, because I think that might be the only way to motivate me, because I should get distracted easily, but when people are watching me, I have to lock in. So how did you all do? Did you get a lot of reading done? If you were reading, let me know what you're reading, how many pages, and if you're liking it. I am really enjoying Mrs. Dalloway now. I think it took me about 50 pages to really get my footing in it and understand like the writing style and what's going on, but now I'm in it and I'm excited to see where it's going to go. Definitely a lot of very interesting characters. There were a lot of names thrown out at the beginning, which I think was also making me confused. But now I have my like solid cast that I'm working with, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. I really did not expect this to be. I thought the stream of consciousness was like first person perspective of Mrs. Dalloway, the main character, but it actually is third person and it sort of jumps around through the different characters' heads and their thoughts. I didn't think I'd like that, but I'm enjoying it so much because we're getting to see this like sort of weird relationship that fizzled out in the past, and we're like finding out why and what happened. So it's interesting to kind of hear from them in the past and in the present day and what each party is thinking of the situation. It's just a really unique book, and I have no clue where we're going with it, but I'm liking it. So yes, Leah, the alarm is gentle. It's just so like cozy. I love like watching those Pomodoro videos when I'm cleaning my apartment. Let's see. Hey, Kayla. She just joined. She's reading Such Sharp Teeth about halfway through. I've heard that one is so good. I think my friend Eden read it and she liked it. So I'll be excited to hear your thoughts when you finish it. And Leah is now 67 pages into the Crescent Moon Tea Room. Okay. When I first started reading that, I was thinking you were saying Crescent City. And I was like, has she already read that? I can't remember. Have you already read Crescent City? Doesn't really matter because that is not Crescent City, but how are you liking the Crescent Moon Tea Room? And what is that? Definitely sounds fantasy, but I haven't heard of it. Kayla says, I'm enjoying such sharp teeth so far. Kind of light and silly, which is what I need. That sounds good. Especially in like a horror. I've kind of found I'm really enjoying YA horror. It's just fun and quick, so I'll pick that one up eventually. Um, Leah just read A Room of One's Own. Did you like it? Um, I think Cami earlier said that she'd read that one, but I haven't read any Virginia Woolf, so this is my first one. And I have no clue if this is like a good one to be starting with. I hope so, but I'm reading it for book club, so that's why I picked it. I also have on my shelf To the Lighthouse and Waves. The Waves? That's what they're called. I'm looking to see when this was published. Well, this edition was published in 2021, so that's what it says, but that's obviously not when it was actually published. I have it like in my head, like, I don't know if this is just because I haven't read that many classics, but I'm like, okay, kind of like Pride and Prejudice vibes. And then one of the characters will mention that there's a taxi, and I'm like, okay, so not Pride and Prejudice. That's not the era we're in. It's definitely like this is post-war. I think it's post-World War One, so maybe the 20s. Yeah. Okay, yes. I thought I remembered you saying you didn't like those or hated book 3. Yeah. I do remember that. I haven't read that series though, so I have nothing to add, unfortunately. All right, and also Ripley's been here sleeping this whole time. Not that you can see him because he's just like a dark void. Yeah. Well, it's getting late for me now. It's like 9:20 here, and I'm tired, and I need to eat dinner, and I need to film my video for this week. So probably about time for me to head out. But thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Thanks for reading. And the wrap up was hours ago at this point, but I'm glad we got to talk about what I read in May. And I'm going to be doing more reading sprints, especially in this month because they're fun and I want to read more. Maybe I'll do like a Pride themed one. Maybe that'll be fun. I think I mentioned earlier that I want to just like binge the Heartstopper books. So maybe I'll do like a Heartstopper Pride Month binge live stream. But that's if I only have volume 2, so I need to get all the other ones. So we'll see on that. Yeah, thanks for being here. Good night, Leah. I hope you're able to get some rest and you feel better soon. And thanks to everyone else. I hope you have an amazing reading month in June. Keep me updated on what you all are reading. And I'll see you in my video this Friday. All right, bye.